Good evening, and we have a fascinating story unfolding that connects Nigerian Islamic scholar Sheikh Ahmad Gumi to the dramatic events happening in Venezuela right now. If you've been on social media today, you might have seen headlines claiming that Sheikh Gumi quietly deleted all his posts about America after hearing what President Trump did to the Venezuelan president and his wife. Now, let me tell you what's really going on here, because this story has several interesting layers that you need to understand. Sheikh Ahmad Gumi, the controversial cleric from Kaduna, who never hesitates to speak his mind on political matters, made headlines back in late December 2024 when he called on President Bola Tinubu's government to immediately halt all military cooperation with the United States. According to Daily Post Nigeria's report from December 26th, the Sheikh was responding to what he described as Trump's aggressive airstrikes and military actions around the world. He didn't mince words at all, stating that Nigeria should take a firm stance against American military interventionism and cut ties with U.S. defense partnerships. This was a bold statement coming from a religious leader, directly telling our government to reconsider one of its most important international relationships. Now, here's where things get interesting. Fast forward to today, January 3rd, 2026, and something dramatic has happened in Venezuela that seems to have caught everyone's attention, including possibly Sheikh Gumi's. Multiple explosions rocked Caracas, Venezuela's capital city, specifically near the Simón Bolívar International Airport and military installations in the Maiquetía area. These weren't small incidents either. We're talking about significant explosions near critical infrastructure that have sent shockwaves through the international community. The Venezuelan government, led by President Nicolás Maduro, immediately pointed fingers at the United States, claiming these were deliberate attacks on their sovereignty orchestrated by American forces. Defense Minister Vladimir Padrino Lopez came out strong, calling them terrorist attacks targeting both civilian and military infrastructure. He painted a picture of Venezuela under siege from external forces, specifically naming the United States as the aggressor. The rhetoric from Caracas has been fierce, with officials describing this as an act of war against their nation. They are claiming that America is trying to destabilize their country just days before Maduro's presidential inauguration, which is a serious accusation with potentially serious consequences. The timing of all this is absolutely crucial to understanding this story. Venezuela is just days away from Maduro's presidential inauguration scheduled for January 10th, an event that much of the international community views as illegitimate given the contested elections that supposedly put him back in power. Many countries, including the United States, don't recognize Maduro's claim to the presidency, which creates this complex situation where you have a government that half the world doesn't accept as legitimate, now accusing a superpower of attacking them. The explosions today have raised the political temperature significantly, with accusations flying and tensions escalating between Caracas and Washington in ways we haven't seen in quite some time. Now back to Sheikh Gumi and these claims about deleted posts that have everyone talking. The viral headline that's been spreading like wildfire on social media suggests that after seeing what Trump allegedly did in Venezuela, the Sheikh suddenly went silent and scrubbed his social media clean of anti-American comments. People are saying he got scared, that he realized he might have bitten off more than he could chew by speaking against American power. But here's what we need to understand about this situation and why it matters so much. While it's absolutely true that Gumi made strong statements against U.S. military cooperation in December, calling for Nigeria to distance itself from American partnerships and criticizing what he saw as aggressive military actions by the Trump administration, there's a big question mark over whether he actually deleted these posts in response to today's Venezuela situation. Social media has been absolutely buzzing with speculation since this headline started circulating. People are sharing screenshots, making claims, and creating narratives, but the truth might be more complicated than the viral story suggests. If you're enjoying this breakdown of what's really happening behind these headlines and want to stay informed about stories that matter, both internationally and here at home in Nigeria, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're committed to bringing you the real story behind the sensational claims, helping you understand what's actually going on versus what gets shared for clicks and engagement. Let's talk about what we can actually verify. Sheikh Gumi's original statement back in December was bold and unambiguous. There's no question about that. He directly told the Tinubu government to halt all military cooperation with the United States immediately, citing what he called Trump's aggressive airstrikes and military actions. For a religious leader to make such a direct political statement about foreign policy shows how significant he viewed the matter. This wasn't a casual comment or offhand remark during a sermon. This was a deliberate, pointed statement aimed at Nigeria's government and its relationship with one of the world's most powerful nations. Sheikh Gumi has always positioned himself as someone willing to speak truth to power, whether people agree with him or not. He's been involved in controversial negotiations with bandits in the northwest, he's made statements about government policies that have sparked heated debates across the country, and he's never been afraid of backlash from any quarter. This is a man who has sat down with armed criminals to negotiate for hostages, who has criticized government security strategies openly, and who regularly makes statements that generate both support and criticism in equal measure. So what really happened in Venezuela that might have prompted this alleged deletion? According to CNN's live coverage today, the explosions near Caracas airport and military bases have created a serious international incident that diplomats and analysts are scrambling to understand the implications. The Venezuelan government is calling it an act of war, using the strongest possible language to describe what happened. They are claiming this is proof of American aggression and imperialism, using the incident to rally domestic support and international sympathy. The United States has not confirmed any involvement in any attacks whatsoever, leaving a gap between accusation and confirmation that creates space for speculation and propaganda. This is classic geopolitical tension, where accusations are made but concrete evidence takes time to emerge, if it emerges at all. Venezuela and the US have had a hostile relationship for years now, spanning multiple administrations in both countries. American sanctions have been crippling Venezuela's economy, destroying their oil industry and making daily life extremely difficult for ordinary Venezuelans. The Maduro government, for its part, has consistently accused Washington of trying to orchestrate regime change, pointing to American support for opposition figures and the refusal to recognize election results. The situation is particularly sensitive because President Trump, who took office on January